All right.
real name, no gimmicks. Sorry.
That's Eminem, isn't it? Or no, that's yeah, it is, right? Yeah, yeah. I remember that
Without
song.
me.
Yeah. All right, we are live. MMAOB Daily Podcast, Sunday, October 13th, 2024, second half of today's podcast. We just finished the UFC Vegas 98 Royval and Pereira recap. It was a fun recap show. If you guys missed it, go and check it out. We had a lot of fun as always. We're cracking jokes, talking about OnlyFans, talking about other stuff. It's fun. So good times. Now we move on to this week's card, UFC Vegas 99, Hernandez Pereira. We will also talk about Contender Series, the last episode, 10th episode of this season. And we'll talk about PFL Battle of the Giants. So we'll talk about all those cards, Marcel. Look at some comments here. We got Knox. Glad to have you here. I like Maze here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about the Abu Dhabi card. No, Marcel's got a half chub for Magomed Nicolau, and you can't wait to talk about him, right? That's your guy. So next week. No,
I was sending a lot of.
Marcel just gulped. No comment.
I was sending a lot of gifts, dude.
Sure. Local man shakes fist. Speaking about shaking fists, Marcel, there you go. He's in the chat. There he is. Yeah, we're talking about. I can't wait to talk about Hernandez and Pereira. Antoine, glad to have you here. All right, let's just jump into it. All right, guys, we're gonna go through the card, and I always ask you this, Marcel. What do you think about this card, UFC Vegas 99? I believe we have 11 fights, if I'm not mistaken, right? What do you think of it?
Yeah, might be the first card where the main card and the prelims make sense. You know what I mean? So, at least most of the main card fights make sense over the prelims. So, it's okay. I would say this is like the two in between Vegas cards. You know, last week and this week. I would say last week it was a little bit better than this one. You know, I think, like, no disrespect to the women, but 3 back-to-back women fights doesn't make anything much better.
You think they're going to change the order, right?
I think they're probably going to do like man, women on the prelims, because let's be honest, man. I mean, a lot of the casual MMA fans, and I don't hate them for that. They don't like 3 women fights back to back. You know, it's pretty much watching Invicta. I have nothing against it. I don't care. I watch anyways, but I understand. You know, so if they're smart, they just do like that. Otherwise, I think a lot of people will do like a 1.5 hour toilet break, pretty much. No disrespect, but yeah, I mean, the card I would say is 6 if I look at it.
I kind of agree with you, but I'm hoping it's one of those cards that's like not great on paper. I think the main card's pretty good. The prelims are. I'll be honest. Again, it's a card where a lot of people I think are going to lose. If they lose, they're going to get cut. Like, between this card and last week's Marcel, you're probably going to see 10 fighters cut overall.
I give it a 6, and it starts at 1 a.m. main card here, so that's okay. If it started at 4 a.m., I would have given it a 5, you know, so.
It starts later, this card, or?
No, it's same as last week. It's 1 a.m. Listen, the fight night starting at 1 a.m., the main card, and like the prelim starting at 10 p.m. over here.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That's okay. But like, I think the Tampa card, the last card of the year, is a 4 a.m. starting time for the main card. I fucking hate that for a fight night, you know?
Well, you're not going to like the Macau card, right? That one's in the middle of the night, isn't it? Or something?
That's for me, that's like 9 a.m.
Oh, that one for you, yeah, I guess that's good. For me, it's 3 a.m. I mean, I'll be honest.
Bro, I also don't like 9 a.m.
I know, but like I'm used to getting up early anyways. But yeah, I mean, some of those prelim fights for the road to UFC fighters, I don't even know who they are. So I'll probably end up watching though, because I watch every card.
Are you more a morning guy or a night guy?
I have to get up early. I work every day. I work at night.
I know, but what are you more?
So, a morning person. I have to be because of my job. Plus, like I get my daughter in the mornings too, right when I get her. So I'm up early. But yeah, I mean, like I was just talking to Marcel off camera. Like I feel like the biggest problem I have right now is like I have so much to do in so little time. Like I'm not sleeping as much as I should be, just because I'm always doing stuff now. So it's a good problem to have. But yeah, I mean, I definitely need to sleep more tonight. I'm off work tomorrow. I'm off to work tomorrow. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, and I know there's some Canadians in the comments. We got Tristan, he's Canadian. There's a few other people in here. They're from Canada, so I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having an extra day off. It's nice, and I'll have my daughter over, so it'll be good. It'll be nice tomorrow. All right, let's get into the card, Marcel. We'll start with the first fight of the night. We're going to use UFC stats as the bout order, which again Marcel says could potentially change. Austen Lane taking on Robelis Despaigne at heavyweight, and the odds for this one are. Let me pull this up. Robelis minus 455, Austen Lane plus 350. I mean, these odds are kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Like this guy's, I think he wins. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to pick him. Like he should knock Austen Lane out, but like after his last fight, which we did predict, by the way, we both picked Waldo Cortez Costa as a dog. This is an easier fight because Austen Lane is bad cardio and a bad chin. But again, like Robelis has like no experience really in MMA. What happens if he gets taken down, right? What happens? Like Lane does have a bit of a ground game. You saw against Denise. He gassed out though. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna pick Robelis by knockout in the first round. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, would I lay minus 450 on this guy? Zero chance. I'm assuming you're gonna have the same pick. It's just, it's. I think if you're gonna bet this fight, you might as well just take him by first round knockout instead. Like, I don't see this fight going past the first round, and if it does, it's gonna look bad. A sloppy ass fight. What do you think, man?
I mean, listen, man. If Robelis fights any guy with a better fight IQ, I probably pick that guy, because you have to take Robelis down pretty much. But Austen also traded with Justin Tafa, I mean, he also traded at a certain moment with Jonathan Denise, besides the first round, where he was doing well. But I think Despaigne knocks him out, man. I mean, I don't see, like, I have nothing against Robelis. I think he's a good dude, but at the same time, I think he's way overhyped, man. That's pretty much by his quick finishes against O&O guys at the regional scene, and he looks big. So
Josh Parisian too in the UFC. He did knock him out in 18 seconds.
Yeah, Josh Parisian was like he saw Robelis losing his balance, and then he went in for the for the kill, and he got killed himself pretty much. Yeah. So if Lane had any higher fight IQ, I probably went with Lane, but I go with Robelis first round knockout.
I mean, against Denise, he took him down and did control him, right? But the thing is, his cardio is bad, and his chin is really bad. He used to play football. Those ex-football guys, they have bad chins. They really do. I can't think. Is there anyone who used to play NFL that has a good chin in MMA? Because like all these guys, I think, Brendan Schaub, Austen Lane, Brock Lesnar, all their chins are not. They were never good. You know what I mean? So,
bro, that last comment.
Instagram research next fight. Oh God, it's funny. Yeah, man, good one. Has Robelis has been exposed? Yeah. Oh, he's been exposed, right?
I think so. Adam, thinking about this next fight, he's like,
OSP's chin wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, like it held up for years, but I don't think he made the NFL, right? Like I know he played for the Tennessee Volunteers, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea.
The NFL is the highest level of football, Marcel. Basically,
I know what the NFL is, but I don't know.
No, he didn't make the NFL.
Come on.
He didn't make the NFL. I was talking about like NFL guys because they these guys like Brandon Schaub. I'm talking about even Brock. Again, Matt Mitrione, another guy. All these guys, their chins were never that good. Eric Anders didn't play in the NFL. He played for the Alabama. What's it called? I don't know college that well. I should know this team. Crimson Tide, that's what it is. And Dom Reyes, he might have. Sean Jordan make the NFL? Remember him?
Matt
Sean the Savage? Matt Mitrione, yes. There's other ones too.
Marcus Jones.
Marcus the Darkness Jones, yeah. That was a cool nickname.
Big baby. Austen Lane
Sean Jordan played for LSU, but he didn't make the NFL. So
Austen Lane for Jackson Jaguars or Jacksonville Jaguars or whatever.
Yes, he played for the Jaguars. Yeah, they played this morning actually in London. And they got destroyed by the Chicago Bears. So maybe they could probably use Austen Lane in their line. They're not good. Do you think Canada will ever get an NFL team? I'd love it, but no, because the Buffalo Bills basically have the region covered, and also like as much as I love it, like the NFL is more focused on going to like international places like London, even Brazil. They went to this year, Germany. They're not really focused on Canada. We did
the Canadian cans.
Yeah, we did have a bunch of Buffalo Bills games here years ago, like the Bills Toronto series. I went to a couple of games at Rogers Center, which is where UFC 129 was. That was GSP and Jake Shields. That card was crazy. That card was amazing. That's one of the best cards of all time. You agree with me, Marcel? 129.
Yeah, it was like what was back then was the biggest. Awesome, man, awesome card.
Dude, you gotta love the old school UFC too, eh? Look at this card: GSP versus Jake Shields. It wasn't a good fight. Jose Aldo versus Mark Hominick, fight of the year. That Homa thing. Randy Couture Machida, like one of the best knockouts of all time. Yeah. Vladimir the Janitor Matasheko against Jason Brills. It was like a 20-second knockout. Mark Bocek, Ben Henderson. Yeah, that wasn't very good. Nate Diaz, Rory McDonald, where he's slamming him everywhere. That was crazy. Jake Ellenberg knocked out Sean Pearson. Jason McDonald had a good finish with Ryan Jensen. John McDessie had that spinning back fist, crazy finish. And Ivan Menjivar, this crazy elbow knockout over Charlie Valencia. It was a sick knockout. And then Yves Joboin against Pablo Garza, flying triangle choke. Dude, it was crazy.
Then they also gave like $129,000 bonuses for that event. Yeah, right.
They did. And yeah, Tristan, they don't make the DVDs anymore. They did up to like 150 or something. Anyways, let's get back on track here.
They stopped over here at 2. The last one I have is 203, I think. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I have to like 150 or something, and they stopped making them. All right, guys, let's get back on track. My apologies there. Let's go to the next fight here. Melissa Super Melly Martinez against Alice Ardelean. Odds for this one, Super Smelly. Minus 148, Ardelean plus 124. I got to be honest, I don't care about this fight at all. Melissa Martinez is the sister of David Martinez, who just got signed. She does have some good knockouts like in the regional scene, but she looked pretty bad in her debut against Elise Reed. It wasn't impressive at all. And Alice Ardelean, she had like a pretty competitive fight against Shannon Mama B. Bannon in her debut, but it wasn't like a great performance. It was short notice though. I don't care about this fight at all. I gotta be honest with you. I wouldn't bet this fight. I have no interest in it. I'm going to pick Super Melly because she's younger and she has the striking advantage, but Ardelean could hold her to the ground and win a decision. This fight shouldn't be in the UFC. To answer your question, Tristan, no. I don't think this is a UFC caliber fight. I really don't. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way, man. I mean, Super Smelly didn't look great in her debut, man, against Elise Reed. I think I picked her back then, but she didn't look good. And Alice Ardelean, she got the short notice fight against Shauna Bannon. Like you said, it was kind of close fight, but I think Bannon deservedly won the fight. It was a split decision, I think. I'm also leaning Super Smelly here. I think she wins the decision, but I'm not sure, man. It's like a super iffy fight to pick here. I wouldn't put any money on it, to be honest.
Super smelly fight to pick.
for Raw Festival, I also keep my pants up, so no worries.
Good. We don't need to see that. We got children watching here, Marcel. No interest in that. All right, let's. Marcel's mom actually watches the podcast, by the way, guys. So
yeah, she does.
Hi. She's probably thinking that these guys are such idiots. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here. Another fight that I just honestly don't have a lot of interest in, although I guess partially just because we have Elise Reed taking on Jessica Penne. And I actually do like Elise Reed to win this fight, and she is a minus 155 favorite, Penne plus 130. Oh, God. I know. People are going to say, friends don't let friends bet on Elise Reed, and I get it because, man, I fade her as much as I can. I don't think she's very good. She is in the UFC. She does have a 3-4 record. It's not, like, horrible. You know, Marcel, like, I don't care about this fight, but again, like, I do like Elise Reed to win this fight. Like, Jessica Penne is, like, 41 years old. And she's coming off a couple of losses, and she's not really that competitive in her fights anymore. Like, she's fighting once a year now. I know she trains with really good girls like Angela Hill and some of those other girls down there at that gym. I think Emily the Cody's there too, former opponent but now training partner. I know they have some good girls at that gym. It's good for the women's fighters, but I just don't think Penne is someone that's reliable anymore. And I know that she has more experience in the UFC, but I do think Elise Reed wins this fight. It's just, God, I've always faded Elise Reed. I don't think I've ever picked her to win a fight in the UFC. I've picked against her all of her fights, I'm pretty sure. I think she wins this fight. I think she wins the decision here. What do you think?
Didn't you pick her against Corey McKenna?
No, I picked Corey McKenna, and I was pissed that McKenna didn't. I'm not picking Corey McKenna again. Now that I think about it.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's also like it's crazy to think there's a 10-year age gap, you know, and Penne is already 41.
Yeah, I can't pick her at 41.
Probably Penne's best win was against Carolina, I would say.
It was. It was surprising
because that Lupi win, I still think she should have lost that fight. So, so if you look at it, she's a former title challenger. A lot of people don't know, but she fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk in Joanna's first title defense, and that was actually in Berlin, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm picking Reed here as well. You know, I mean, I cannot pick Penne. Although I think if it was 10 years earlier, I would have definitely picked Penne. But right now, not. And man, she might hope that Sal D'Amato is not one of the judges. You know, because she totally shit on him with Angela Hill on their podcast today. So
they did. Oh man.
Yeah, they were. Angela was like, "Sal, you better not being in the one of the judges for my girl because I will chase you to your house or something. So
Two Straws or something. I don't watch.
Yeah, Two Straws. I had it on my timeline, so I checked it, but it was pretty funny. So
There's a funny video that Adam Hunter put out last year where it's like Angel Hill's like rapping. It's actually kind of funny. I don't know if you saw that. It's pretty jokes. Phil Davis is in it too.
Yeah.
And Penne. I used to think Penne was like really attractive back in the day, man. I mean, she's a little bit older now. I still think she is. She's good looking for sure. But like as a fighter, I mean, at this point, I think you have to fade her at age 41, man. You unfortunately have to. I think Reed decision is a good pick. Against Super Smelly, Zach, good pick there. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have another women's fight. Again, the order might change because, man, like Marcel was, I don't know if you said this to me before or now, but you might see viewer drop off if you have 3 women's fights in a row that go the distance, which these probably do, you know. Joselyne Edwards taking on Tamires Vidal, another fight that don't really have a lot of interest in. And that's why, like, Marcel, these prelims are kind of, like, there's a few good ones coming up, but these are kind of weak fights, man. Edwards minus 245, Vidal plus 200. These odds are a little hefty on Edwards. Minus 245 on someone who's like not very reliable. Her record is 4-4. She's a 500 fighter, and you have to lay minus 250 basically. I don't want to do that. Vidal is not that great though, so I think Edwards probably just is able to control her with the wrestling. Vidal is 28% takedown defense. That's horrible. Yeah, I think Edwards probably wins the decision here. But man, I don't care about this fight at all. Edwards has no finishes in the UFC, by the way. Be better if Vidal won because she probably finishes the fight if she wins. Yeah, I don't care about this fight, man.
I mean, Vidal lost by TKO last time, you know.
That's right.
I mean, Edwards lost her last 2 fights. At the same time, I favor her by decision here. It's like going to be like 3 fights back-to-back decisions, I think. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I think the loser of this fight gets cut, and I think the loser of Reed and Penne gets cut. I think the loser of, if Austen Lane loses again, he'll get cut probably, and maybe Despaigne if he looks horrible again, maybe, but probably not. They'll keep him. I just think again, it's another fight card second in a row where you're going to have half the fighters on the prelims cut. You know, they need to make space for the new fighters. I like how the UFC allows fighters to take years and come back whenever they want. I mean, that's not necessarily true, Antoine. Like with Jessica Penne, it was a USADA suspension, but she had kept fighting it. There were some issues with that suspension, Marcel, if I'm mistaken. She was appealing it constantly. I mean, I get what you're saying, but eventually they'll get rid of you. Like Georges Danho, Marcel's least favorite heavyweight of all time. They finally cut this bastard, Marcel. Finally, eh?
Yeah, man. Was about time.
That was a good day for you when you saw the X beside his name, eh?
I mean, dude, I remember when he made his debut in the UFC for Daniel Omelanchuk.
Bro,
he was losing the fight, and then he tried to lure Daniel into an illegal knee, which Daniel did. And then he was like, I cannot continue. So he's hoping for no contest, but they went to a technical decision or for a DQ, he was hoping, but so Daniel won. Then he fought in Hamburg against Christopher Colombo, I think.
Bad.
Yeah, and then he did the same thing, and Colombo got a point deduction and went to a draw. It's like, motherfucker. And then he fought Jorgen De Castro, and he knocked him out, and then he disappeared for another 3 or 4 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, and Antoine, I get what you're saying. Like, the thing with Reyes, he had a really severe injury, if I'm mistaken, right? Was it a car accident? Is that what happened? I can't remember.
Life-threatening and something with his back, I think. Nolan did a complete...
Yeah, Nolan King, like we talked about before. I can't remember, but he had a severe injury. Like, yes, like if you're GSP, they'll let you come back, but I think, it depends on the circumstance. I get what you're saying, though, Antoine. It's not like a bad take by any means. I just think it depends on the circumstance. That's all. But yeah, I kind of think that the odds are a little high on Edwards there. Like, it seems high, minus 245. I don't know. She probably wins the decision. All right, next fight here, we got Brad Katona taking on Jean Matsumoto. Odds for this one, Matsumoto minus 270, Katona plus 220. What?
The most exciting Canadian. That's why they didn't put him on the Canadian card. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I don't think Brad Katona is that exciting, man.
No, that's what I say. Yeah.
He had one amazing fight with Cody Gibson. That was a fight of the year contender last year. But I mean, all of his fights have gone the distance. He did beat Jesse Butler's last fight. It wasn't great. The fight with Garrett Armfield in Toronto was terrible. Terrible fight. Terrible card. Anyways, this is a clear setup fight for Matsumoto. They want him to win. I think he wins. It is a good test, though. It's a good test because he's going to probably go for takedowns, I would think, Brad Katona in this fight, and he might get a few. I just think eventually Matsumoto probably catches him. Katona's pretty tough, though. Has he been finished before? Let me double check.
I don't think so. Only decisions, I think.
Let me double check. Superman Katona, one of the strangest accents of all time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been submitted never as a pro. Amateur, he's been submitted never as a pro. Or sorry, it was the wins by as the amateur. My mistake. Never been finished at all. Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Does John finish him? Right, that's the question here. I think he could. I think he could become the first guy. Just because the guy hasn't been finished doesn't mean he can't. John Matsumoto, 6 submissions, 3 decisions. I guess the most obvious pick is probably Matsumoto by decision, I guess more so. But I think he could submit him, and I think that's what the UFC is hoping for. I think the matchmakers want him to win by submission and become a good prospect. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. I feel like that. I think it will be tough, man. Katona is always tough, But I'm also with Matsumoto here. I don't know if he gets a finish. I'm going decision, man, for Matsumoto.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Someone's asking about Brianna Fortino. Yeah. So she had a kid and never fought again. That's what happened. Brianna, what was her first? Van Buren?
Yeah, Van Buren, yeah.
Yeah, Brianna the Bull Van Buren. Dude, she had a kid and never fought again. So that can happen. People lose interest in the sport. I'm assuming that's what happened. She just lost interest.
I think she was supposed to fight Jessica Penne actually, but that fight got scrapped, and now she got another kid. She has 2 kids.
She's done. She's done. I mean, maybe eventually she'll come back to Invicta, which I think was she the champ there. I want to say.
She won the tournament.
Yeah, she had some good fights, man. But yeah, I mean, again, you can't. That's another example of a fighter that the UFC eventually is like, okay, you got to go. So all right, let's go to the next fight here. We have Matheus Nicolau against Almabayev, which I feel like should be on the main card personally, Marcel. But the flyweights are just always in good fights these days.
They dropped that. That was on the main card at first. They dropped that. They went from 6 to 5 because they had to how do you say that? To have one more on the prelims. I think.
What fight got dropped from this card? What got scrapped?
Nothing. They just needed that on the prelims or something because they needed at least 5 or 6 prelims.
Yeah, I thought I was opening the card. Anyways, we have Almabayev minus 192, Matheus Nicolau plus 160. I'm taking Almabayev. It's an interesting fight though. I'll say that because Nicolau has 92% takedown defense, which is extremely good. 93%, even better. And his problem is his chin, right? His chin is terrible. He's been knocked out a bunch of times, but I believe in Almabayev. I think he's legit. I think his wrestling is very good. And I do think he can get takedowns, or if not, like push him against the fence. And if not, I think maybe this is the fight where you do see a little bit of striking for him. Like it's definitely a step up from Jose Johnson, CJ Vergara, Ode Osborne. It's a step up, but to me, this guy's passed all the tests so far. I think he's looked really good, and it's another guy that this flyweight division is amazing. So I think Asu wins, probably by decision though. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I don't think he knocks Matheus Nicolau out, but it's possible too. I like Almabayev here. What do you think?
Adam, how would you classify Matheus Nicolau's style? If you say jiu-jitsu guy, boxer, striker, wrestler, how would you classify him?
He's pretty well-rounded, I think, honestly.
You would just say MMA.
Yeah, sure.
The EA UFC has him as boxer. I thought that was super weird. So I
think he's pretty well-rounded. He's a decent fighter. It's just
but I wouldn't classify him as a boxer. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't say that either. I wouldn't say that.
So I pretty much agree with you, man. I think Almabayev is going to win the fight. I think he has a lot of control time again on the ground. It's a 3-rounder. So I think he wins at least 2 of the 3 rounds. But I'm going with him by unanimous decision. Asu Almabayev.
Yeah. Do you think it's possibly get the finish?
This is always possible, man. I mean, definitely if you do. But the thing is, like, he likes to grapple instead of striking, pretty much, And I think Nicolau is pretty decent on the ground as well, So I think he can make sure not to get submitted. So I'm going with the decision here. I think decision is the best way to go, probably.
There you go. All right, go to the main card here. We have all the same picks so far, so we'll see what happens. All right. Go to the main card. Oh yeah, this is a good point too. You went to split with Zach. Well, at the time I think Zach was somewhat decent. I don't know. This fight could be competitive, but yeah, the odds aren't that crazy. He's only minus 192, guys. He's not minus 400. I think that's
in the rankings.
And if he gets this, it's like top 10. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Opening the main card, we have a battle of veterans as Darren Elkins takes on Daniel Pineda. I'll be honest. I think this fight's going to be really good. I think it's going to be a good fight. I like this fight. I think these guys are going to come to scrap, and I think it's going to be a war. Sorry?
2 action fighters, yeah.
Dude, Darren Elkins is not a boring fighter, Most of his wins are by finish, which is crazy.
Well, are there odds for how quickly he is? How quickly he got cut this time?
They should put odds out for that. It's going to be in the first round, obviously.
Yeah.
Here's the odds: -130 Daniel Pineda, +105 Darren Elkins. I'll let you start on this one. What do you think?
So I'm on Elkins, man. I mean, listen, Pineda is a vicious guy. He got like 100% finish record, you know. But man, Elkins is so fucking tough, you know. Elkins always. The problem is Elkins maybe not going to win a decision here, but Pineda has never won a decision in his life in MMA.
Yep.
You know. So at the same time, I feel like Elkins will do enough to get the decision. Apparently, I don't think there will be a finish, but I think there will be a fucking amazing fight. I honestly think this might be a fight of the night, kind of fight.
I'm glad you agree with me on that too. Yeah. I think it's a good fight. Finish your thought, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Elkins here. I think he will do enough to get the win, but it will be a bloody war. I think, like it always is with Elkins. He will be probably cut open early in the first round. Pineda has a lot of good striking. You know, I like him on the ground as well. I'm feeling Elkins going to win this one, man. I'm going to decision win for Darren Elkins.
Hit the button for me, man. We have a consensus dog. Let's go. I wasn't sure where you'd go with this one. Yeah, I like Elkins too in this fight too. I like him in this fight. So historically, he's an amazing underdog bet. He's won so many fights as an underdog over the years, and I picked him in a lot of them. This is another spot where I actually think he should be the favorite here. Like, you know, the guy is as tough as it comes. Like, he's almost impossible to finish other than, you know, again, if you cut him open and it starts bleeding or something. I don't think Pineda is going to finish him in this fight. And I honestly, Marcel, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it could be a fight of the night. And I also feel like, I think the most obvious pick is Elkins by decision. I think Elkins could submit Daniel Pineda too. I think he could get him to the ground and take his neck and choke him out with a rear naked or something, or even get on top and ground and pound him. I think he has way better cardio. I think the damage wins this fight. You know, he's 40 years old. Pineda's 39 though. It's not like he's fighting a 29-year-old. Pineda's old too. Darren Elkins is way more reliable. Pineda has not looked very good lately. Yeah, I think Pineda is a fun guy to watch. I've enjoyed watching him. I'm glad he's back in the UFC, and he's definitely been better since he left the UFC the first time. I guess after he used that juice, Marcel, because he didn't get caught for juicing, was he not? I think in PFL.
Yeah, he got even two big wins of his against Jeremy Kennedy and Mavlid Kabulaev, 2 no contest.
Yeah. So he's looked better in the last couple of years, but yeah, I don't think he's got a secret juice anymore. But yeah, I mean, for me, Elkins is just the more proven guy, and I think Elkins wins. And again, he's coming off a nice win over TJ Brown. I know TJ's not in the UFC, but it was a nice win. And then when you have a guy coming off 2 straight losses, it's kind of weird that the odds are the way they are. I guess the odds makers think Pineda's going to piece him up and finish him with strikes or something, or cut him open and you can't see, like the Nate Langworth fight where actually Elkins was, if I'm not mistaken.
I had him winning that fight. He lost that fight, but
I was going to say he was landing more. Well, I'm looking at the stats right now. It was like basically even. But if you watch that fight, like he actually, I think, landed the better strikes, but his face was like blood everywhere. So I don't blame the judges. It's a tough one, but I think Elkins wins, man. I really do. So I'm glad we're on the same pick here, Marcel. Hopefully it's a better dog pick than last week, but let's do it. Let's do Darren Elkins. And you know what, man? He's been in the UFC for a long time. I remember one of the first bets I ever made, because when I started betting was 2010. I bet him against Michihiro Omagawa, and he was an underdog in that fight too. And won. Again, he's been a dog in a lot of fights, like against.
Remember the Bektic fight, man?
Bektic, yeah, that was
crazy.
One of the best comebacks of all time. I'm telling you right now, like he has a lot of finishes, guys. He's not a boring fighter. You know, when he first came to UFC, he was a lane player, but not anymore. He transformed his style over the years and became a pretty exciting guy. So, yeah, I love the damage. I mean, I love the guy. So. Let's go with Elkins.
Tristan is not a fan.
Tristan thinks he loses. That's fair. You know, Tristan, fair enough. Like, he is slow. But again, I just think stylistically, this fight is not a bad one for him against another old guy, you know? Daniel Pineda is 39. He's not.
I think it's a fun fight overall, you know?
It's a fun fight. It's a good fight. It's a good main card opener, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. So we have the same pick there. Let's go to the next fight here. We got, all right, let's go to this fight. All right. Second fight in the main card. We have the bantamweights going on as Brady Hiestand takes on Jake White Kong Hadley. Brady's -155, Jake Hadley +130 underdog. What do you think about this one? Who's your pick?
I think it's a fun fight, man. If you look at Brady Hiestand, since his loss to Ricky Turcios, he won 3 in a row, Good win over Fernie Garcia. Got stunned in the first round, I remember, but he came back. Bachari Dana, he looked pretty bad, but he also came back in that fight. And against Armfield, he also got in trouble, but he also came back. So he got a lot of, how do you say that? He can come back. He has some adversity, or however you guys say that. I cannot find the right.
That's the word. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at Jake Hadley, he went to 135 in this last fight. He actually missed weight there against Killen Loughran.
It was short notice, right? I think.
Yeah, short notice. Yeah, he won, and he won decisively. He looked pretty good in that fight, So maybe 135 is better for him than 125. I think there will be a lot of ground fighting, a lot of wrestling in this fight, and I'm taking the dog, man. I'm going to do it. I'm taking Jake Hadley here because I think he's super tough. He's very difficult to finish. And Brady is super tough as well. He can come back, man. But I think Jake can win 2 rounds here, and I don't think he gets finished. So I'm going with Jake Hadley.
Well, you know what, Marcel? I got to be honest. I wasn't sure you were going to say because you didn't click the button right away. Hit the button for me. Let's go. 2 straight consensus dogs. Let's do it. I am picking Jake Hadley here. I do think he wins this fight. Listen, if this was his first fight bantamweight, if he didn't fight Killen Loughran, I wouldn't have picked him here. But we did see that fight, and I thought he looked really good in that fight, to be honest with you. I think he's found his right weight class. Here's the thing about Brady. Like, don't get me wrong. It's impressive to see a guy get dropped and come back, and he's done that a few times now. But at the same time, like, he's getting his ass kicked and has to come back and win these fights. It's not going to always last forever. Like, I remember Dan at Bakary in James's Survivor pool, Marcel, I had Brady. He was losing that entire fight until like 30 seconds left, and the opponent just gassed. To me, it's not super impressive. I get it. He trains with really good guys, training with Marab. That stuff helps. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like, I feel like this fight, I think he's going to struggle to get takedowns. I don't see it being easy to get Jake Hadley down. I know Jake's takedown defense on paper is not good, but that was at a different weight class. And I think he's just better at this weight class now. I think he was cutting a shitload of weight to make 125. He couldn't even make 135 his last fight. So I don't know how he made 125. But I was so impressed by his last performance against a guy in Killen Loughran who is a pretty good grappler, Marcel, and could not get him down. He could not get him down. So to me, it's like, I don't think Brady does either. I think it stays on the feet. And yeah, Brady's tough. I think Jake Hadley's going to outbox him. And I think he wins the decision. So we have the same pick here. We have a consensus dog. We have 2 straight consensus dogs, which is crazy. Antoine likes him at bantamweight too. I think it's a better division for him. Again, most people want to move down in weight, right? I get it. You're always trying to be the bigger guy, but there have been good examples of guys in history, Marshall, that moved up. Like I think a Cowboy, remember when he moved to welterweight, he was killing everyone, right? So it just kind of shows that you don't have to cut a bunch of weight to be a good fighter. You got to find the right division. I think this guy found it. We'll see on Saturday. If he might just go out there and get taken down, and it's like, fuck, he's too small for this division. But I don't think so. If you look at the biometrics, he matches up really well in this fight. So, yeah, Tristan, I mean, we both kind of feel like he's the value side here, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have Charles Johnson taking on Sumudaerji. This is another fun fight. Marcel, I really like the main card. Don't like the prelims, but I like this main card a lot. It's a fun main card.
That's what I said. It's like, it makes sense what they did, what they made it.
The main card is about an 8 out of 10, and the prelims were like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Somehow we came up to the 6 average, even though it probably should be less. Charles Johnson minus 230, Sumudaerji plus 190. Dude, I'm all over Charles Johnson in this fight. I am all over him in this fight. I think Charles Johnson wins this fight. And not only do I think he wins, but the more I'm thinking about Marcel, I think he can maybe submit Sumudaerji because Sue has lost 6 times, all by submission, all of them by submission. All right. And why would Charles Johnson want to stand and trade? I know he did knock out Josh Van. It was an amazing knockout, but why would you want to stand and trade with this guy? It wouldn't make sense. Stand and trade with a dangerous guy like this? No. I think Charles Johnson attacks the takedowns, gets this fight to the ground, and wins the fight with his wrestling. I know he hasn't wrestled a ton in the UFC offensively, but I think this is the fight he's going to do it. So I like Charles Johnson, but even if it stays standing, like I think he could outlast him. Like he's tough, he's hard to finish. As the fight goes on, he has the better cardio. So again, it could be a situation like the Josh Van fight, Marcel, where Josh Van was a weird fight actually because Josh is was slow starter or whatever. That was a great fight, by the way. But like I think maybe Sue wins the first round, but Charles wins 2 and 3, and maybe even finishes late too. So Charles Johnson for me, minus 230. I like it here. I think he wins the fight. I like him a lot in this fight. What do you think?
So I have to give Knox in the chat credit because before Charles went on a 3-fight win streak, he was already saying like this dude is much better than he showed so far of that we think he is, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean Charles Johnson has looked good as of lately. You know, he knocked out Joshua Van, got that win over Azat Maksum. You know, 3-fight win streak this moment, and with Sumudaerji, I think Su hasn't have a win right now against somebody in the UFC right now. You know. He has been ranked for a long time. When this fight was made, Sumudaerji was still number 15. He's not in the rankings now anymore. I think Charles Johnson wins this fight, man. I mean, either by decision or, yeah, maybe he tags him and then he subs, so club and sub maybe. That makes sense.
Sumudaerji's lost all of his fights by submission. That's why I'm thinking that could be the way, right? But Johnson's more of a decision guy. He's more of a decision guy. I'm just saying, like, if he's going to submit anyone, it would be this guy who seems to have a big weakness on the
team. Yeah, but at the same time, the guys he won against is like Jake Hadley, who was tough to finish. He won against Azat Maksum, who has never lost before, and he won against Joshua Van, who he actually finished. So, I would say Johnson by finish as well. Yeah.
It's possible. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Co-main event. We got Rob Font taking on Kyler Phillips, the Matrix, one of my favorite bantamweights. He's a huge favorite. Marcel, I think he's the biggest. Okay, actually, Robelis Despaigne is the biggest favorite, minus 450. Kyler Phillips minus 380. Rob Font plus 300. I love Kyler Phillips in this fight. I think he wins this fight. The only question is, like, does he finish Rob Font or not? I mean, Rob's really durable. He's been finished, like, once in his whole career, I think, by Pedro Munoz. He's almost impossible to finish. But his chin has been going a bit. Like the fight with Aldo, the fight with Marlon Vera, his chin was getting tagged a lot. Davison Figueiredo getting hurt badly in that fight. I think Kyler could potentially finish him, but he's mostly going the distance. So I think the obvious pick's Kyler by decision. I just think there's an outside chance of a knockout too. But yeah, I'm all over Kyler Phillips, and I think the guy I've always liked him. And again, a guy who kind of got set back by that fight with Paiva, which it was a majority decision. I thought that was an obvious draw. Like it should have been a 10-8 in the first round, right, for that fight. Yeah. Only one judge had a 10-8. At least who the judges were. My God. Sal Diamato had the 10-8 round. Fuck. I know, but Chris Lee and Eric Colon, who aren't very good, they had that for a Paiva, which again at the time was a huge upset. And but now if they rematch, I mean, Phillips destroys him. Yeah, Phillips wins, right? You like Phillips?
Bro, I was on Kyler Phillips before Kyler Phillips was on Kyler Phillips. So I always like to do it a lot. I think he's super talented. I love his striking. I think his ground game is pretty good as well. He got still that big win on his record over Song Yadong, and it wasn't like a close fight. It was like a pretty clear win for him, in my opinion, when I saw that. And I still have that in the back of my mind. He got hold back because of the Paiva loss, but also about some positive USADA test, I think, twice. Yeah, I'm happy he's in the rankings now. I got that good win over Munoz last time. He's gonna win again, man. This is a good fight for him. I think he wins. Yeah. If he doesn't beat, he can even finish Rob Font, I think. But I'm going with decision here. I think Kyler wins.
I remember when I picked him against Song Yadong a few years ago. I can't remember if we were doing the podcast together at that point. I think we were, but it might have been me and Cole. But yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. I've liked him for a while now, so I think he wins. True likes Phillips too. That's good. Glad you're on him too, True. All right, let's go to the next fight. Main event, guys. Yeah, Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy against Michel Pereira. Was it Demolador? Is his name? Right?
Yeah.
So awesome. Odds for this one. Fluffy's minus 148, Pereira plus 124. So I'm picking Fluffy. I'm going to pick him, right? I think the reason I'm picking him is because it's 5 rounds, and I think if he outlasts Pereira if he can get through the first round, I think he takes over after that. Like, we know how good he is with his grappling. He dominates people with his grappling. Look at his last 5 fights, Marcel.
Yeah, I know.
3 takedowns against Roman Kopylov, 6 against Edmund, 8 against Barrio, 8 against Fremd, and he did get taken down and lose the first round of Vieira, but came back and submitted him in one of the biggest comebacks of 2021. I can't believe it's not long ago now. Wow, but the guy's gotten better throughout his UFC career. Like when he came to think about it, he lost to Marcus Perez in his debut. Like that's a bad loss looking back, right? Overall, though, I mean, he's phenomenal, dude. His grappling is amazing. He also took down Jungna Park 6 times. That's impressive. He could get caught. Pereira's obviously super dangerous. And I don't want to completely, ignore Pereira's win streak here. He's 8 wins in a row, and he's looked amazing at middleweight, Marcel. He's looked amazing. He has a puncher's chance or a kicker's chance, whatever you want to call it. He does. But I just think Fluffy's going to be able to fight smart here, withstand it, and take the fight to deep waters. And I think Fluffy wins by submission, 4th or 5th round or something. That's what I think. third, fourth, or fifth round, I think Fluffy gets on top, beats him up, and then takes his neck or something like that. So I'm going to go Fluffy by stoppage. But he's going to have to really be careful in that first round. What do you think?
I think smart people picking Hernandez, but I'm a fucking idiot. I'm going with the
No, I don't think you're an idiot, dude. I think he's got a chance here. I really do too. So,
and that's the thing, you know. I remember, and that's a time ago, Fluffy against Kevin Holland, you know, and that's some time ago. So maybe that's not fair. Yep. But I think Pereira can redo that pretty much, you know. I think if Pereira wins here, he needs a finish, and probably in the first or second round, you know. But I think he will get it. He's super vicious, and let's not forget, he's not bad on the ground either, you know. I think Hernandez is bigger as a specialist on the ground, you know, than Pereira is. But in standing, I favor Pereira with the stand-up, you know. And on the ground, I think Hernandez has an edge on the ground over Pereira. At the same time, Pereira's no slouch on the ground either. So it's either going to be, if it goes to decision, I favor Hernandez, but I'm picking Pereira here. I think he stopped Fluffy in the first or second round by TKO.
And we just talked about Hadley moving up, right, and looking better. This is the right weight class for him. He moved up and he's looked better. So I don't blame you for taking a shot. You know, I think he's got a chance. But again, I'm going to go with the guy with the better cardio, I think, and the better ground game. But we'll see what happens. Let me get a bunch of comments here, guys. Mock says body kicks were like Fluffy. How do you guys think about lower rank main events? I don't mind it at all. I think these are perfect fights for them. They should be showcasing these guys. Same with Prochez against Magny. That's a showcase fight. I do think it's pretty funny how Neil Magny headlines the 100th Apex card. It just feels like a Neil Magny card to headline. Yeah. Tristan likes Pereira too. First round finish. He likes him there. Pereira's dangerous. He's super dangerous, dude. That fight with Ihor was so fucking crazy, Marcel. That backflip he did. Although I'm really honest with you, if that was in Nevada, you think it gets overturned?
It would have been a no contest or a DQ.
Or DQ potentially. Maybe probably no contest.
They appealed the decision,
I know.
but they didn't got,
Dude, it was in Brazil. Like the Brazilian commission's gonna overturn that shit. No chance. Picking Fluffy, not confident. Think Pereira can get a finish. Very possible. Pereira might be most dangerous guy at one. Dude, it's too bad that Alex Pereira's not there at 185. Alex Pereira versus Michel Pereira would be fucking fireworks. I think Pereira's good. I mean, he's great. I think he's even great, I would say. Like, here's the thing, guys. The Tristan Conley fight, he was an idiot in that fight. He was doing these backflips on the way to the octagon and he in the cage, and he gassed himself out, right? But he was dominating that fight. And then the fight with Diego Sanchez was dominating that fight, and then he hit the illegal knee. And the referees, Diego's like to the ref, he's like, "Can you continue?" He's like, "What happens if I don't continue?" He's like, "Then you win." He's like, "Okay, I can't continue." Remember? Now they've changed that. They don't let them do that anymore because it was so stupid. Like he's like, "Yeah, it's like you're gonna win by DQ if you can't continue." No, I can't fight anymore. You would have done the same thing. Anyone would have.
It's like this. You if you don't win. Oh, I can't see any. I can't see anything.
We didn't even talk about that eye poke in that park fight in the last podcast. Although at this point, I don't really care talking about it. Winner gets top 5. I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I don't think so. Maybe, but I mean, I think the top 15 is it's tough to break into it right now. Pereira's dark horse champ, but Fluffy's a bad matchup. We'll see. I mean, I think he wins too, but yeah. What are you gonna say?
I don't know. It's the wrong weight class. I'm sorry. No, never
mind. Fluffy's by the way, Fluffy's one of the best nicknames in there. I think Fluffy, like a dog.
Oh yeah, like Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, was the winner of this fight deserved? Like top 10 probably, but I think again, Michel Pereira, if he wins, it'd be 9 straight wins. Like so, I mean, how many wins did Rob have before they gave him a title shot? 10. Like, how many wins does he have to get a title shot? Like,
yeah, but he switched divisions, right? So he probably even needs more. Yeah.
Brendan Allen, I think Brendan Allen's fighting Marvin Vettori, isn't he? Isn't that?
This was like Brandon said, "Can we fight?" And Vettori is like, "Yeah, sure." And now people are like, "It's verbally agreed." No, it's not verbally agreed.
I thought it was okay. For some reason, I saw it. I guess it was a fake news tweet or whatever.
The 31-11,
9-2 UFC should be 11. Yeah, it should be 11.
The problem is when two fighters going at each other on Twitter or Instagram and they're asking to fight each other and they agree to it. That's not verbally agreed. It's only verbally agreed when the UFC asks them to fight, and they agree.
Where's Jack Hermanson?
I don't know, man. I mean,
the winner could fight him because I think he beat Joe Pyfer his last fight, right?
Yeah,
Jack?
He did. Yeah,
and he looked good in that fight. That was like the fraud check fight, right? Although again,
I don't call that I don't think
because Jack's good. He's not a bum. And
Plus,
it's the same with Tyra.
Won the first 2 rounds.
It's the same with Tyra. People are saying fraud check. No, right?
Definitely not. Also, definitely not.
Ridiculous, right? So stupid. Have you seen this fight, Tristan? It's on. I watched it once on YouTube. He gets fucking clipped and got knocked out by Dushko.
You know what's a fraud check is? Robelis Despaigne against Waldo Cortes Acosta.
That's an example because if Waldo lost, he would have been cut. I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Or at least not. Maybe you would have got one more fight, but I don't know.
Is Darius booked? That's the rumor. Great Dawson booked.
Dawson said the thing is like I think Ali Abdelaziz said like Darius was waiting for the winner of Moicano Benoit. So maybe
said that like Sean Shelby wanted him to wait.
Yeah.
Couple other comments.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense if Moicano barely got any scratch on him? Maybe they could do Moicano Darius on the Tampa card, for example. You know,
they could. We'll see what happens. Yeah. That card doesn't have a main event yet, or does it?
No, it doesn't have yet.
Although we're hearing it could potentially move to Apex, right?
Yeah, because obviously,
the hurricane. Tampa, hit there. I don't think it's going to end up happening in Tampa, Marcel. Personally,
would be crazy. I think if they do, I hope so.
It's what 6 weeks from now or something? 8 weeks?
It's 2 months. 2 months. Exactly 2 months.
How do you see Kopylov Kurz playing out? It's a good fight. I have to think about it more. I haven't even thought about it. Is that official though? That one is.
That's official. Yeah, that's for
310.
For the first. No, for the first Apex card in January.
I saw people. I know you put a bunch of fights out, and people are like, "Fuck, they're going back to the Apex." Like, dude, this isn't news. Like, we knew about this.
Yeah.
You know, Kennedy leading OSP is another good fraud check. Yeah, I mean, Kennedy's so lucky he's in the UFC still. Like, again, I feel it's a situation where he was going to be cut and safe. Who has a good relationship with everyone? He's probably like, please give this guy one more chance at heavyweight. Give him one more shot. I think. I also feel Kennedy probably cuts a lot of weight to make 205. He's a huge guy, dude. He's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a horrible look losing to OSP in 2024, right? He lost. It was this year, wasn't it? Renat has a fight. Renat's fighting next week. He
was supposed to fight Ruziboyev, but Ruziboyev is out.
You're joking. When did that fight? When did that happen?
A week ago, I think. Or
fuck! I was just looking at that card. Damn.
But
I think Renat was going to win that fight easily. To be honest with you.
They're trying to rebook him for the same card, but there's nothing yet there.
Who are they going to find to fight Renat on short notice? No one's going to fight him.
I don't know.
Renat's good, man. You guys think Bilal will make it to the cage 310? We should talk about 310 really quick. They announced it. Bilal and Shavkat. Shavkat's a pretty big favorite, which we'll talk about that. I mean, again, Bilal, no respect from the betting odds, and then the other fight would be Kai and Pantoja, right? So good start to that card, and then also you had a few other fights booked. Okay, guys, that's it for UFC Vegas 98. Let's quickly go to Contender Series, Marcel. I don't want to spend too much time on the next few cards, guys, just because just being mindful of time. We've been going for over 2 hours now, and
I thought your OnlyFans subscription was
no. I want to watch the second half of the football game, and honestly, like this stuff's bonus. So that was UFC Vegas 99, and now we go to Contender. All right, let me go through the 5 fights. Any of your thoughts on them? Geraldo Souza minus 188, Nick Klein plus 145. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Souza. I would have picked Alain van der Merk when Van der Merk was supposed to fight Souza.
Dude, but the Belgium guy? Is that right? Yeah. I when I was looking at it, I was like, that's Marcel's guy for sure. Has to be.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, man.
Antonio Montero minus 110, Yadier Delval minus 120. Who do you like in this one?
Difficult, man. I probably maybe going the Yadier guy, but I'm not sure. I have to look into it further.
Nick Garul minus 110. Nick Piccinini minus 120. Yeah, sorry. I remember he fought already. So it's basically, again, another pick-up fight. What do you think?
Such a difficult fight.
I know. I think the Garul guy maybe wins.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Also, Brandon Royval was hyping him up. He's his teammate. So, looking forward. And that's a guy, I think Alex Behunin is also super high on.
I was going to say, Alex asked him about him twice, I think, this week before and after the fight. Juliana Martinez minus 135, Leslie Hernandez plus 105. We're going to take Dora the Destroyer.
Yeah, she's from the MMA lab, right? And it's like pretty much a pick him to me. I'm probably going with Dora the Destroyer, but yeah, I'm not sure.
And then finally, we got Mohamed Ado. That's my guy, Canadian guy from Unified, taking on Jonathan McAuliffe. I'm taking Mohamed minus 130.
Yeah, same thing. And he was I think he was the guy on the last Dana White looking for a fight, where Dana was like, he's interesting, but he needs one more fight. And I think in between he fought one more time, and now they got him on the Contender Series. He's still super young, also, just like the Julieta Martinez girl. She's also super young.
Yeah. Yaldaval, he's from Fury, right? I think.
Yeah, he's like, is he Cuban or is he Puerto Rican?
Yeah, he's Cuban. He's called the Cuban Problem. I was looking at him today too. All right, let's go to PFL really quick, guys. We have a PFL card really quick. We'll go through it. PFL Super Fights, Battle of the Giants. Are you going to watch the card?
Yeah, sure. I mean, is it the same? It's the same date as the UFC.
The same time as UFC. That's what I hate about it. But
yeah,
I'll have two screens open and watch it.
I got to switch it, dude. If the UFC starts, the UFC my work, right? So
maybe you have to have a second screen or something. Use your phone or something.
Yeah.
Let's go through the card really quick. I'm not even going to look at the prelims because honestly, Marcel, these are like PFL MENA guys. I don't know them too much, but the main card's pretty good, I think.
Also, the feature prelim is okay.
Yeah, Francis Ngannou minus 285, Henan Pereira plus 230. I think Francis knocks him out. And
also go Francis.
I'm surprised the odds are. I'm gonna say low. I mean, he's almost minus 300, but they went down. Like he opened as a bigger favorite. I'm pretty sure. I guess it's kind of held steady. Yeah, he was a bigger favorite at one point, minus 305. I just thought he would be like minus 400 or 500. Like I guess people think that his chin is compromised because Joshua killed him, but I shouldn't say that word. Joshua knocked him out. I don't want to say anything like that with Francis involved because of what he went through. So I apologize for saying that.
You have to say on Instagram they say unlive.
Yeah, he got fucking destroyed in that fight though, and obviously he's had a rough year. And you heard Pereira, he had to apologize for everything. So it's a tough situation for Francis, but I mean the guy he's one of the greatest stories like in sports history from where he came to where he's now and everything he's gone through so much in his life, dude. He's such an inspiration. He really is. I think he wins this fight, Marcel. I think he knocks him out. What do you think?
Same, but imagine Francis getting knocked out here, man. Imagine
it'd be sad to see. And honestly, if he gets knocked out, I think he should never fight again. I honestly think that.
But I'm also on Francis here. Yeah.
It was that he had that great fight with Tyson Fury where I think he won that fight. I think you thought he won too, right? With Tyson Fury? Marcel?
Yeah, what did you say about Tyson Fury?
We thought he won the fight, both of us, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely. We both thought he won the fight. And the thing is, like,
right? They wanted the guy to win.
And that he fought Anthony Joshua. And I think I told you or I told somebody else, like, he's not going to beat Anthony Joshua. People are like, why not? It's like, because Anthony Joshua saw the Tyson Fury fight, and he's not going to make that mistake, And as you saw, he didn't, So, but yeah, I thought Francis won that fight against Tyson Fury. But hey, I mean, I got told by every boxing fan that it was a clear Fury win. So who am I,
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just looking at people's comments. Yeah, I mean, they're saying that they think he could get knocked out. It's possible. Ferreira's got power, but I don't know, man. I don't think Ferreira's that good, honestly. I really don't. I know he knocked out Ryan Bader and he has some good finishes, but I don't know, Marcel. I'm not sold on the guy. I've seen him get finished too. It's not like he's been, immune for getting knocked out. I think Francis wins. Saying one of the best heavyweights ever. Francis is he's underappreciated because he's not in the UFC anymore and because Dana White doesn't like him. He is one of the best heavyweights of all time. What he did to Stipe, think about it. Stipe's getting a title shot in the UFC next month. Look what Francis did to him. Yes, he got destroyed by Anthony Joshua, and I get it. Joshua just got fucking destroyed by Dubois. I get it, but it's a different sport.
It's also sport. Stipe's last fight, right? Against Francis.
Stipe, yeah, it's crazy. I saw what Peter Murray said. They have to defend the belts. Anyways, we'll see if that. Didn't they say Jake Paul's going to fight in PFL? That's not going to happen either. They say a bunch of stuff. These guys are just whatever. Francis wins. All right, a couple other fights here. Curious to hear your thoughts on this fight. We have Larissa Pacheco minus 130 against Chris Cyborg plus 110. Now, I know Cyborg is old, but I think that she should be favored here personally.
Bro.
Am I crazy?
I mean, no, I'm completely with you, man. I mean, they're just high on Pacheco because she beat Harrison one time,
That's why.
I like.
They forgot about the 2 times she lost to her, right?
And by the way, maybe this is not nice for me to say, but Pacheco looks like a balloon version of herself, like she was in the UFC, man. She looks like she got like 10, 20, 40 pounds more of muscle on her for some reason. But Cyborg, I'm going Cyborg, man. Why would I go with? I'm shocked. I didn't even know she was an underdog. Cyborg. I'm picking Cyborg any day. Cyborg, man, knockout.
She tweeted about this a little while ago. She's like, I know I'm the underdog here. It's close, Tristan. You're right, but I mean, she is plus money, so she is the underdog. All right, Johnny Eblen minus 625 against Fabian Edwards plus 455. I don't really know why we need to see this rematch. I think Eblen wins again. Probably finishes him again. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm also picking Eblen, although he had difficulties in the fight last time against Edwards, but Eblen for me as well. I also don't know why we see this one.
AJ McKee minus 192 against Paul Hughes. This is a really good fight. I wish this fight was in the UFC. Fight. Yeah, don't you wish these guys were in the UFC though? Honestly,
of course. I think both guys are pretty high level, and looking forward to this one. It's actually one of the best fights on the card, maybe the best fight.
I think it's probably the best fight in the card.
I'm picking AJ McKee still to win.
Me too. I'm leaning McKee. There's some other good fights. Rafael Stotts is.
You missed one on the main card.
Marcus Breno with Hussein
Kadi Magomayev.
Was he from Bellator? I can't remember now.
I know he beat Jarno, I think, in Germany way back.
Oh, that's why I want to talk about him. Let me double check. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to miss that one. He came from he fought in Brave, not Bellator. He fought in Brave. Okay.
Did he also not fight Jarno?
He fought Jarno Aarons. He submitted in 2019. Yeah. It's Zafar Mohsin. I don't know.
Yeah, he's winning. He's a good fighter.
Well, he's minus 600, so yeah, he should win. I'll be honest. Again, other than Stotts, I don't know a lot of the other guys in the prelims. I know Dedrick Sanders. He's a guy that fought in Spectation Sports. So I know him. I do know Ibrahim Igramidov or whatever. Marcel, how do you say his name?
You drank a cup of coffee with him yesterday, right?
Minus 1,000. Jesus. Yeah, the prelims are all like minus 500 favorites. So you can kind of see who PFL wants to win those fights. But yeah, I think the card is decent. I think there's some good fights on it. I think PFL is crazy doing pay-per-view. I don't think it's going to sell many, but I think there's some good fights on the card. So anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, I was thinking, man, next week when we're doing the preview for Abu Dhabi, should we also do Power Slap to chill for Dana? A little bit.
Which one?
Power Slap to chill for Dana. It's something to laugh about, Adam. Don't look so serious, dude. Of course I'm not serious.
No, it's not Power Slapping. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm just getting a little tired because I've had a long day. It's 10 o'clock now, so went a little longer than we thought, but yeah, it's a good time to finish it, I think. It was just a couple more comments, guys. Thoughts on Don Davis? I don't know. No thoughts, really. I mean, I don't really believe half the stuff he says. He's like, PFL is, the co-leader of MMA. Like, no.
By the way, super petty from them to do that Pacheco Harrison clip.
Even Pacheco's like, what the hell is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Power Slap KOs are awesome. I mean, they're good for social media, TikTok and all that stuff. I get it. How do you see Usman versus Paul Hughes? Is the winner getting a title shot? I would imagine they probably will, right? I guess they could, right? Could still fight in.
Yeah.
That'd be a good fight. Yeah. You know what, man? This is a great question to ask, Marcel. I was going to message James because I think we're going to – I know I'm open to doing it this week, to be honest.
Let's go.
It might be next week. I have to message James. He's on vacation, so I don't want to bother him. But I'll talk to him this week. It would probably be this Wednesday or next Wednesday. But, yes, we're definitely due for a parting shot once a month. But it's one of my favorite – I mean, don't get me wrong. I love doing the 2 hours with you. But I like doing the one with James, too. It's always fun and completely –
I like to watch it.
It's off limit. It's not. It's only Patreon, right? So
yeah,
it's fun. And if you haven't subscribed, obviously you'll have to watch that one. Although it's worth it, right, Marcel? 1 hour a week, but it's fun and nothing's off limits. And you always hear James going off on Ali, and it's a lot of fun on there. So it's good stuff. James is the man. Hey, what's up, Blake? Is Payne going to roll on the win over Amanda? She called her out and then she posted that video the next day. I don't care about that, but it might be that. What would be your UFC walkout song? I had one fight not in UFC, but my Muay Thai fight. They did do walkout songs. And I walked out to the song called Atlas Air by Massive Attack, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. Do you know Massive Attack?
Yeah.
You know the song Atlas Air?
Yeah.
It's fucking sick, right? Yeah. I walked out to that. So I walked out to it and I was all pumped up and shit. And then after the fight, so I brought the CD and I gave it to the guy. And then after the fight, I was like, "Hey man, can I get my CD?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "My computer is like, I can't get it on the computer right now. I'll have to give it. I'll give it to the guy that works at the front, right?" I'm like, okay. Then I went back the next week. I'm like, "Do you have my CD?" And this guy's like, "No, I never gave it to you." The fucking guy stole my CD.
What the fuck?
So I actually ended up buying it again. I have 2 copies of it. I have one with just the case.
Yeah.
And I have the other CD. They were one of my favorite bands of all time. I've seen them twice. They're amazing. That song's sick. What would yours be?
Probably I Am Too Sexy for My Shirt by Right Said Fred.
Would it be?
I don't know, man. Probably something funny or something more serious, man. But so maybe something Korn. I really like Korn or System of a Down, that kind of stuff. That would be fun.
Yeah. Is your friend on YouTube? No. So this was June 2014. That's how long it's been. It's crazy.
What would be your nickname?
I think they called me the cardio machine back then.
Okay.
That's because I actually was in good shape, dude. I was in great shape at one point in my life. I was a machine. I mean, I was training, 3 classes a day. I wasn't getting tired. Everyone else is all gassed out, and I'm still going as a heavyweight, light heavyweight. So, yeah, I mean, but again, this is 10 years ago. I mean, I was 25. You know, Marcel, I'm 36 now. It's crazy. I wish I could be like that. I mean, I'd love to get back in that kind of shape again, but it's not easy. That's just a different part of my life now. But yeah, they called me like the machine, cardio machine, cardio king. I think that was one of the ones. What would yours be? Big Marcel?
Probably something like Snorlax or the Dutch Snorlax, something like that.
I like that one too, but I don't mind the big, like LeVar Big Johnson. Big Marcel Big Dorf.
Yeah.
I like that too, actually.
That sounds like Marcel Big Dork.
It actually works better in between.
Yeah.
Metallica, that's a good one. I see Metallica once in concert. It was fucking amazing. They're actually coming back to Toronto, Marcel. Did I tell you about this? Metallica's coming in March or April. Toronto. Again, Rogers Center, the place where they did the GSP and all Shields fight. They're doing two shows back to back, completely different set list. They're going to play. You can see the set list online because they're doing it right now. It's like 40 or 50 songs, right. And then there's different openers, and one of the openers is Limp Bizkit. So Limp Bizkit's going to open for them, and they keep playing "Break Stuff." Right? Is that the song by Limp Bizkit on the Power Slap commercial? Dude, I know people are clowning Limp Bizkit. They're actually making a huge comeback right now. They're touring. They're probably going to come up with another album. And Wes Borland, Marcel, is a great guitarist. He is fucking awesome. You like him, right?
Yeah, sure.
Dude, he's great, and I love his like the face painting stuff, the masks he wears. He's awesome. He does a couple other songs that are like not with Limp that are really good. You know that song "Born Too Slow" by Crystal Method? You know the Crystal Method?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know the song.
Do you know the song? Oh yeah, do you know the other song, "Name of the Game"? You know that one? It's the name.
I have to hear it.
Yeah, Tom Morello does that one from Rage Against the Machine.
I'll look it up. Just don't start singing, but I'll look it up.
No, I'm not gonna. But yeah, anyways,
By the way, I watched an episode today of Undercover Boss, and it was a Canadian thing. And you had like the poster, and it was a restaurant, and you had the poster of the UFC 151 with Joyce against Henderson. It was like
which episode was it? Do you know which episode?
Wings.
I'll check. Can you send it to me?
It was on TV, but I will send. Okay. I will search for it and we'll let you know.
Please send it because I actually like that show. I do watch it sometimes. It's a good show. They actually like go behind the scenes and you know they trick the people. It's awesome. They should do that for you, Marcel, at Eurosport. Bring someone in there and fuck with Dennis and Gilbert. Gilbert's like, what the? Gilbert would be so confused.
4 DQ.
Gilbert would poke the guy in the eye and then headbutt him or something. But,
Gilbert's great, man.
A couple of last comments here. Did Jung get a top 15? Yeah, I think so. But again, they're all busy. So, Flying Dutchman. Yeah, I like that one too. That's a good one. Who should Ikram fight? I feel like Ikram's completely disappeared off the planet at this point. And I feel like because he lost so quick, it just hurts his stock so much, right? Ikram Aliskerov. Break Stuff. Woodstock 99 is a great concert. That's awesome. Have you guys seen Slipknot in person? I have not. I wish they came to Toronto, but it was it was a UFC card the same day. I think it was either the Izzy and Duplessis card or it was Aspinall and Blades. I can't remember a card, but they were here, but I couldn't go because I had to cover the card. But I'd like to see them once. Although this last show they did, they only played from that one album, their first album, I think, which I don't like as much as the Iowa album, Marcel. But it's good though. Don't get me wrong. But
I sent you the episode, by the way.
Thank you. Hill fighting Yuri. It seems like it. Do you have any knowledge about this?
I think the thing was like Hill was saying in this video he signed a contract and he was like doing this, like and then Yuri signs a contract a day later.
It just makes sense. It makes sense. By the way, Wild Wings, that's the restaurant. They have one 5 minutes from my house. So yeah, I know. I don't mind it. It's not the best wings, but it's not bad. Yeah, I heard his confidence too. All right, I think we should get out of here, man.
Let me know what you think about the episode, by the way.
I will. I'll let you know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking with us, and we had a lot of fun. But time to get out of here, Marcel. We went for 2.5 hours today, which a little bit longer than I wanted to do, but that's okay because we had fun. I mean, being completely honest with you guys, like we could do 3 or 4 hours, but it's a lot. But I think that the way we do it, when we go basically an hour for the recap, hour for previews, good way. I've seen some previews out there on YouTube. Like I think the ones I don't mind are like 30 minutes. there's something like 2.5 hours. It's crazy to me. Like to talk about the fights for that much. I couldn't do it. You know.
I mean, I also don't have time for it, to listen to it all. So normally when I see that and I want to know for a specific fight, I will check it out. But it's like maybe in the background I will play it. But I mean, and this is like we do an hour, but there's also like a lot of other stuff, not just.
Dude, I mean, it's not just the podcast. I have to prepare it. We have to get everything ready for it. The research, and then I have to put the article together and stuff. Like, it's not the easiest thing. But again, not complaining because I enjoy doing it. We get paid a little bit of money for it, not a lot by any means, but we get a little bit. So it's fun to do. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it, guys. We appreciate you guys joining us. Follow him on Twitter, Instagram, BigMarcel24. I'm Adam Martin here. Like, share, subscribe to the podcast. I never say that enough. Everyone, when I watch other podcasts, like, share, subscribe. Like, we never say that enough. We should do that. A couple last comments. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. Looking forward to sleeping in tomorrow and then eating a lot of turkey and falling asleep afterwards. Thanks, Antoine. I'm going to watch it right now. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Back next week. Peace.